Hey guys, Twisterduck here, and in today's video I wanted to talk about 5 things I would like to see in Season 5 of Overwatch. Now as we know, Season 4 will be ending on May 28th, and Season 5 will be starting on June 1st. That's a really short off season compared to what they usually have. I mean, it's usually a week, which is already pretty short, so this is only like, I think 3 days now, 3-4 days. So that's pretty short, and that doesn't give Blizzard a whole lot of time to make changes, but hopefully some of these changes they can make. Now this list is not in any particular order, and it's just 5 changes I just want to see. First change I want to see is I want to see some more top 500 rewards, or at least better rewards. Now for almost the whole entire player base this doesn't matter, but for the ones it does affect, it really is important. Now most top 500 icons and sprays just don't feel that much different than a normal one. I mean, most of the animated sprays have been, for the most part, basically exactly like a regular spray, and you'd really have to look to tell the difference, in my opinion. So I would just like to see maybe more rewards, or just to make them more different so people can tell, hey, that's a top 500 spray, and stuff like that. Next thing I would like to see is some better matchmaking. Now, there have been several instances within the past few seasons, and even this season, where people were taking advantage of the matchmaking by having really high SR, and then they would queue at awkward times, especially in regions that weren't as populated of players, and they were causing like GMs and top 500s to match against diamonds and platinums, which is a big problem. And I've even had a few games like during prime times to play where I've had like 3 GMs on my team, but then like we'll have like a diamond, like 3 diamonds, and the other team will have like 5 GMs and 1 diamond. So I don't understand the logic, and the diamonds won't even have had skill rating decay, so that doesn't make any sense to me. Now speaking of skill rating decay, that's going to bring up my next point, is I want some better skill rating decay, as in time and how it works. Because as of now, you have to play 7 matches a week, even in Diamond, which seems like quite a bit, especially just for Diamond players. I do agree that one day maybe wasn't enough for a true skill rating, but maybe for Diamond players, they could start off like at 5 or 4, and then like master players goes up one day, and then GM top 500, they would have to be the ones that play 7 games a week or something to that effect. I'm not sure what would be the best solution to that, but just something a little bit different, because 7 games a week does seem a little ridiculous, especially for diamond players. Now the next part of the skill rating decay is a lot of people just don't like how the skill rating decay works, especially in GM and top 500, because what happens is like they'll be GM top 500, so they have skill rating decay, they have to go on vacation for a week, they can't play. Well, they come back and they're 3,000, but yet they're still matching against GM players for the most part, which just kind of contradicts the whole point of skill rating decay to begin with, in my opinion. So hopefully they can fine-tune that a little bit and make it better, because I don't think it's in a good position right now. The fourth thing I want to see is Blizzard being a little more clear on how the MMR and SR works. They've stated it several times. I still feel like there's a lot of confusion in the player base on how the whole MMR SR works itself out. It does seem a little strange at some points. I know I've seen on Twitter where Blizzard has responded to people saying, why am I Masters GM and my teammates are making this mistakes that Platinum Gold players are making? And then Blizzard's response is, well, it's their MMR is lower. But then the problem is, if their MMR is lower, then why is their SR so high? See, there's some really weird, complicated things that are happening that I really hope they iron out in Season 5 and make it more clear. And then the big thing I want to talk about, which is why I saved this one for last, is a team queue. Solo queue is not a very good way to find out how skilled a player really is as a team. It's a lot of, it's mainly solo queuing on how this stuff works, and that just doesn't give a good explanation of how a player will play with the team. So that's something that I think everybody's wanted, is a team queue. I mean, I think they should have it to where it's basically just any skill rating player can queue with any kind of skill rating player, but when they play as a team, they have a team SR, like like an individual SR, and then you have your team SR. That every time that your team plays together, will go up in skill rating as a team, and you will go down. So like as a whole, your team, let's say, is 3,500, and that's not even for an individual player. That's just as a team, you are 3,500. You're a master level team, and as you win games as a team, it goes up, and as you lose, just like an individual one would work. And I think that would be a really nice addition, especially for pro teams and people aspiring to put a pro team together. I think that'd be very beneficial and really help the esports side of this game, which I have quite a passion and interest in. So those are the main things I really hope to see in Season 5. I don't think they're all going to come through just because of the amount of time for an off season, but you never know. And, Overwatch is still very young. Like, it just turned 1 year old, and it's taken several of the biggest esport games to really fine-tune their comp to make it as viable as it is now. So I really hope that some of these changes go through at the start of the season, or at least at some point during the season. Well, that is really all the main points I had to talk about today. And I know my content's been a little slow lately. That's because I've been busy, but I will have more time. Starting the second week of June, expect to see at least 2 live streams a week, and hopefully a video on Saturday and Wednesday is what I'm going to try to shoot for. And I will always keep posting on Twitter whenever I will have stuff up and ready. So I will put a link to my Twitter in the description below if you'd like to follow me there. And thank you guys for watching, and this has been Twisterduck.